Alena Wilson with Estimate Mastery, here to tell you about some of the things that those that are getting paid in the insurance space are doing, and as far as on the contracting side, and how they're making a big difference in their business. So let me show you. I have 3 things I'm going to talk about today, and let me show you how this is going to work. It's going to be kind of a shorter Facebook Live today. There's a couple of things that are that I want to talk to you about. So we'll just get started here. And the first thing is, I've been noticing that there's a lot of newer people joining our industry as far as roofing exterior contractors. If you are an adjuster watching this, or maybe you have been in the industry for quite some time, you probably already know you should be using Xactimate. Adjusters, 85% of the larger insurance carriers, USAA, State Farm, as of right now, use Xactimate. And so that's why I advocate contractors use the same software as the insurance company. So if you're new to any of the restoration contracting side of the business, then that is the major reason you want to get into starting to use Xactimate, is so that you can speak the same language as the insurance company. I shouldn't have a job. You should be able to show up with your pricing and just say, here, adjuster, here's my estimate. But that's not the way the world works. In fact, it's actually getting worse than it's been in quite some time. I've got some boots on the ground people that are, even with State Farm, they're approving the damage, going back to their office, it gets handed to some other adjuster, and that adjuster says, nope, we don't approve that damage. I mean, there's wild stuff going on. So there's no reason for you to put a roadblock in place for yourself just because you don't know a piece of software. So I have lots of YouTube videos for you to just start learning how to use the basics of Xactimate. That'll get you a lot farther than you showing up with an AccuLinks estimate or QuickBooks or something like that, whatever you're using for estimating now, handwritten estimates. You don't know what you don't know, and their line item pricing could be outdated on their estimate. They could be using the wrong line items, and you don't even know that. They've got the wrong pricing, they've got the wrong line items, and they're not adding your general contractor overhead and profit. Excuse me. There's so many reasons that you'll want to be able to compare what they've done on their estimate to what you know is right in Xactimate. So that's step 1. I also hear, I don't want to use Xactimate. It has really awful pricing. Well, I would invite you to start using the software first and see how that goes for you. And then when you run across pricing issues, actually reach out and talk to pricing at Xactimate. So a couple of ways that you can get a hold of them. Let me put this on the banner here really quick. That is not the right banner. One second. Let me get this over to you. It's just pricing at verisk.com. And I email them all the time for things. First of all, if you ever want to say, hey, the price of this in Xactimate isn't correct. Where did you get this price? Can we discuss this? This is what my pricing that I'm having to source, whatever the thingamajig is costing me boots here on the ground. So you can't just complain to them. You do want to come with some backing up of, why the price you feel is low, but they want to hear from contractors. They actually call and survey contractors. I love it because contractors are like, yeah, I've never been called by Verisk or Xactimate to get surveyed. I was like, yeah, they're not going to tell you, hi, this is Xactimate, I'm here to survey. But they will call for pricing. They get the pricing sourced from suppliers, big box stores. Sometimes we'll go into that. They will call contractors in the area, and then they have this algorithm that runs things for when prices are increasing and we have inflation and things like that. So there's a big building, actually 8 miles from my house is where Verisk's main office is. And there's a big area where the pricing department sits. So they are a big part of that organization. That's why the program, the software costs so much, is because they're constantly updating that price list every single month for your area. So if you ever run into any pricing issues though, feel free to email them at pricing at verisk.com. I also email them and say, hey, what would this be in Xactimate? I send a picture and a description and they point me to what line item that would be appropriate. You can also give them a call if you'd rather just chat with them. You want to call the sales line. It's 800-424-9228, and then ask for pricing. So there's that number too for the pricing department. Call that number and then ask for pricing. So I've spent extensive amounts of time with the pricing department. They're fantastic. They love having a conversation, and they're also very informative. If you want to take it a step further, you also can get pricing certified in Xactimate. There's a user certification with Xactimate. That's great to have as well. There's also pricing certification, and they go way into detail in that class and in the test of how like labor yield is built out, what goes into each and every component in that price list line item. It's a fantastic course. If you've been using Xactimate for some time, and you want to understand pricing, it's a great course to go through. If you're brand new, don't go there yet. Just start to use the software and see how that pricing is working out for you. So that's the first thing I would say. If you feel like you're not, you're having a beast of a time with the adjuster and you're not using Xactimate yet, just starting to get to use it and understand. It's like speaking French to someone and they just, I don't know French. If you know French, I wouldn't know French. I wouldn't understand what you're trying to come across. I mean, we'd get there eventually, probably through like hand gestures and pointing at things. But why would I just, go learn how that person speaks or what they're encountering? And that's what Xactimate is. It's speaking the language of the insurance company and the adjuster. So whether you've been using Xactimate for some time or you're brand new to the industry, there's just some tips there if you're running into pricing issues. And then, of course, I advocate you learn the software, have a whole YouTube channel, over 180 videos that you can go view and get up and running in the software with that. So number two, the thing that I know a lot of the top contractors who are winning in the insurance space right now is by utilizing the homeowner. Whenever the contractor tries to circumvent the homeowner and go straight to the insurance company, it's really backfiring at this point in time in our industry. So of course, the homeowner holds the policy or has the agreement with the insurance company that they've purchased a policy, they've purchased a product, right? So that's the homeowner, and they've purchased the product from the insurance company. The homeowner also has hired you as their contractor of choice and has a contract with you. When we try to go over that person's head and involve ourselves in a third party to a contract, we have no dog in that fight technically, other than we're directly benefiting from the proceeds of the product that this homeowner has bought. It used to work really well in the past. It was kind of an unspoken rule that in the insurance industry, the adjuster is going to work with the contractor and they're going to work out the pricing. But in the past, I'd even say 5 years ago, it just really doesn't work anymore for us to just completely ignore the homeowner, not have them get involved in the process at all, to say, you know what, homeowner, when you sell the job, I'm going to take care of this tip to tail for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to lift a finger. You're just going to pay me the deductible, whatever that conversation was. Now you need to more sell the job as you being an advocate for that homeowner. Mr. Homeowner, right now in the insurance industry, we found damage on your property. We're going to involve insurance. I want to become your advocate. In order for you to do that, I need you to understand how this process works. I'm going to write an estimate. The adjuster is going to write an estimate. We're going to try to come to a meeting of minds of what this job is going to cost without you having to come out of pocket any more than your deductible, which is your part of the policy, what you owe. In that, I'm going to say, I'm your contractor of choice, and I'm a restoration professional, and I know that my number is probably going to be 25 to 40% higher than what the adjuster is going to give you. And this is common because the insurance company is in business to save money, and right now they're really hurting. There's been a lot of storms, fires, hurricanes in the recent years, and they're really trying to hold their purse strings close to themselves. But I've also got to stay in business as well. So I'm not here to bilk the insurance company. That's not what I do. But I do use Xactimate, and I can show you where they're deficient in their estimate. And if you would, just do me a solid and ship this estimate that I'm going to write over to the insurance company and get that submitted, on this job, and we'll get this taken care of for you other than that. And then inform the homeowner that, when you submit that estimate, we already told you it's going to be higher than theirs because they left off all of these line items. I can clearly show you that on my estimate. And they're going to do this, Tom. Whenever they get that estimate, Tom, they're going to give you a call and they're going to say, do you know what your contractor is charging? This is outrageous. He's trying to pocket blah, blah, blah. He already makes enough, blah, blah, blah. You're going to say, you know what, Mr. Homeowner, this is my contractor of choice. Tom is, Alena has already informed me that this is what the job is going to cost. I can see that you left 10 line items off of your estimate, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that the homeowner across the street has 10 line items left off of his job. So I'm not sure why I'm having to endure a lesser product than what, someone across the street has from me. Why is Allstate wanting to low bid this when my contractor of choice, who's a restoration professional and who's certified in Xactimate, has shown me you left these 10 line items off. So they can have that conversation because they're educated. They feel like they're being advocated for through you because they're being educated. And then they know how it actually is going to go down. You prepared them for the valleys, you showed them, the peaks. Hey, yes, we're going to get this initial check, but we're going to have to go back in and supplement this because they're chronically low, and just prepare them for the peaks and valleys. And then just let them know they've paid a policy premium for 30 years. You're trying to make sure that the insurance company holds their weight and pays what they should on the job using the same software that they're using. And you should be able to help that homeowner feel like they are advocating for themselves. Now, not every homeowner is going to do that. Some people have extenuating circumstances, but at least if they can submit that initial estimate and direct the adjuster to talk to you, that does help. It goes a long way. And it also goes a long way when you need to escalate, get a reinspection or whatever have you. You've already prepared them for those peaks and valleys. So it's not a big blow up conversation that everybody's all angry now. No. Prepare them. This is the way this works. And that should be a part of the sales presentation, in my opinion, with your salespeople. They don't have to necessarily write the Xactimate estimate, but the salespeople should be educating your homeowners on policyholders on how this works. So that's number 2. Number 3, what most contractors who really become highly profitable in the insurance space is documentation. It's the boring stuff that you do over and over that actually makes your company work. Getting into accounting and seeing all of your books, it's not something that you want to, wake up in the morning and go, I can't wait to go talk to my accountant today. Maybe some of you do. That's fine. But there's the boring things in business that if done really well, that's what makes you the money. It's not the wrapped truck. It's not the really fancy website that you paid, 12 grand to get put up, whatever. Those things are good. I'm not saying that they're negative things, but it's the boring everyday stuff that you do really well, rinse and repeat, same way every time, that matters. And documentation is one of them. There's a couple pieces of documentation. First one is photos. I always tell this story of when I was supplementing. I myself was a supplementer, and I would get the original statement of loss from the adjuster was around 25,000. I'd look at, the Eagle View and what they had on their plate and everything. And I would say, this looks more like, with this size of roof and with this style of shingles, we're looking more like 45 or 50 grand. And the contractor would then say, okay, let's write that up. I'd go ahead and do that. And they'd send me 4 photos. The first one was a close-up of a hail hit. The roof was already bought. I'm not going to use that photo. Second, you might get a, crazy view of the front of the home. And then the other 2 were of the grass. Like literally, I'm supposed to take an estimate to 25,000 to 45 to 50,000 with those 4 photos. Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. It's not realistic. So the more you take better photos, the better, just have a good process. Here at Estimate Mastery, we share a roof inspection checklist, exterior checklist with our members. We also have one for interior photos as well. And just having a checklist, that way your brain also, you're not relying on yourself to remember every single thing that you need to get on that job. And then also what a checklist does is prevents you from wasting time of going all the way back out there. Sorry, I should stop this ticker. Here we go. That was from pricing from earlier. So it'll prevent you from having to go back out to the job and waste more time, 3rd, 4th time getting photos for your estimator or for yourself if you're trying to write your own estimates. It just saves so much time. So a checklist for photos is key. With documentation, the second piece is going to be a local code. There is up.codes. I believe that's what it's called. Let's see. It's up.codes. I think it's up.codes. Let's see. Yeah, up.codes will show you can go search your local building code for your area, get to know your local building office, see if they'll write a letter for you stating what IRC code that they adhere to. Some of them are still in 2008 IRC code. Show up with a box of donuts, say, hey, I'm your local roofing and exterior contractor, and I was wondering if you put into writing what code is applicable to this area. Don't say enforced or any of those languages, just what code's applicable to this area. Can I get a letter to that effect? I just want to make sure that I can show my homeowners that I'm up to speed on code. And then you can actually send that to the adjuster and say, look, I have this letter that says, we have one for Sandy City, Utah. It actually covers all of Utah. It's pretty cool that we got written up for us. So Documentation, first thing, photos. Secondly, you want to lean on your local code. There's also an app called One Click Code. We're affiliate partners with them. Go tell them that I sent you over there. And you can pay a nominal fee for them. And they pull all the codes, local building department information, when the home was built, what tax jurisdiction it's in. It's pretty cool. So One Click Code is a great place to go take a look. You get a discount on a few of those reports if you mention that I sent you over there. So just plug them a little bit because they're a great organization over there. And then the third piece of documentation is just the why behind it. OSHA specifications. We once had a shower surround that the surround was damaged, but the pan was not. The pans of a shower, surround that situation. The pan doesn't usually get damaged unless something major falls on it. But the tree had fallen in the home and I think broke the glass in the shower surround. So the damage didn't happen to the surround, but the manufacturer required that the pan be replaced when you replace the new unit. Not Pella Windows, Velux Skylights has something that they put out there that's a letter that says if you can't just swap out the flashing on top or the cladding, you have to replace the whole skylight. Stuff like that is documentation. A lot of manufacturer specs and things go into this is how we prescribe the roof would be installed, or the shower pan needs to come out and be replaced with whatever it is. Lean on your documentation that you're not making that up. Alena's not saying that my guys need extra time to tie off to a roof when it's above a certain height or a certain steepness. That's OSHA requirements that require X, Y, and Z. So getting a database, or even there's something called deep research on ChatGPT that will go help you research some of these things. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of avenues that you don't have to self-source a lot of this. Also knowing other contractors in the industry and what are they using, what works boots on the ground. That's the third piece of documentation. So you've got your photos, you've got your code that you can now back up. Well, this is required and necessary per IRC code 2008. You got up codes, you can go search that, or one-click code. And then third, manufacturer specs, OSHA requirements, and those kinds of things. That's the big pieces of documentation. There's nuances along the way, but if you're covering those three areas, you're going to be able to back up your estimate with the homeowner, let them know you're their advocate, and then you're using Xactimate so that you can show the line item pricing and where the adjuster is deficient, and then back that up with this is why I'm asking for these line items, because it's required by local code. This picture shows damage, or we have consequential damage. When I pull off the shingle, the flashing is going to have a hole in it, and I'm per code not allowed to reuse damaged flashings. That builds the consequential damages argument. So all of these things are just a great way to build your case as if you're like a detective having to represent yourself in a court of law, kind of not the detectives that didn't quite connect, but you know what I mean. Be a detective, do the research, and then present it as a full package. And that goes a long way in the industry right now. We're really having a tough road. Just the first and second quarter of this year have been notoriously hard to get supplements paid, but I'm here for it. And I'm here to give you as much information as I can on what's working in the industry. So those are some of the top tier things that you'll want to take a look at. And then if you want to learn more and hear some more actually like specifics of what a lot of contractors are finding that work right now and what AI can and can't be used for in the industry, I'm actually holding a webinar tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're on my list, you might have already seen the invite to that. Let me go ahead and pull up a link that I'll put in the comments if you want to go get registered. It's going to be about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to be going over exactly what is working, get into more specifics. Today was kind of like a general, so let me go ahead and comment down below for you. You can go to that link and get registered. And yeah, I'd love to see you on the webinar. We can do Q&A. It's a Zoom meeting, so it's more interactive than this. I can actually see you and you can pop your questions in the chat, and it's a fantastic time. So one of my most popular trainings, I haven't done it since like last November. I haven't done this specific one. So if you're interested to see what it takes, exactly how to get paid out by the insurance company, I did hit some of the highlights today, but if you want some more specifics, I'll be going through that in the training, and then you can ask me questions as we're going through it as well. And then I'll be talking about what it looks like to be a member here at Estimate Mastery. If you've ever wondered what our training program entails, how it works, all the good goods that I talk about at the end of the call tomorrow. So if you're at all interested, I give you a bunch of free information. I'm also going to be giving you an email template that's pre-written to help with that homeowner conversation with the adjuster. We have something that if you join the training with us tomorrow, we will be giving out that free template as a thank you for spending time with us here at Estimate Mastery. So hope that was helpful. Love seeing you guys that were here live with me. If you're watching the replay, love it. And then go get registered for that webinar. And I will see you next week. Take care.